is a Bramble Jam podcast. Well, hello everybody.
Oh yeah!
Welcome to this is the real.
The real.
This isn't.
Couple of warm-up pitches.
We're here. This isn't dog time with Kirk Cameron.
This isn't Bodog time.
This isn't the Mummy.
It's the DCOM descendant.
Sans Brendan Fraser. This is Brink.
I will say this: Aaron Shea has a unique attachment to the Mummy, and you just acting like Under Wraps and the Mummy are the same movie without Brendan Fraser. The fact that you've not already lost it is shocking to me.
It's one of those, I'm staying silent, but inside I am screaming.
Got it.
I would almost always rather be watching 1999's The Mummy.
Wow.
As opposed
almost
to
always
2015's The Mummy.
Yeah. More than Under Wraps, more than You Lucky Dog.
Well, yeah, but it's still just The Mummy.
How dare you?
All right.
Hey, let's see what
I'm dealing with.
Let's see what this camera's up to today.
Oh,
boy. Not bad. Yeah, you just swivel over. Yeah. You just get closer to Dan. Dan, you get a little bit over there.
Yeah.
You get, and then we'll have ourselves today. Aaron, and then you go there. Yeah.
There we go.
And then bam.
There we go.
And then hey-oh, you can watch the show on YouTube.
And now it's on YouTube, just like that.
It's a little bit weird when you're over there.
Now it's weird here because now it looks like
it's okay. It's okay. We're doing the best that we can.
After I give my opinion on Brink,
Dan and I are against Brand.
That's right.
How about, what if I go over here though? Then it looks like I'm interviewing you guys.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Now I can't see anything because Aaron's directly in my way.
As everybody knows, this is
a professional podcast.
Yeah,
this is a professional podcast. This is week number 3.
That's
well,
right.
Technically week number 2, but movie number 3
Week number
for
1.
us. If you don't mind, we would love if you would rate and review us on the Apple Podcast. Apparently, you can also rate and review on Spotify as well.
Sure,
lots of different places. So go to all those places, rate and review us. Leave us a note that's saying some thoughts. I don't even remember what we gave. Some sort of
we wanted to know what
Number
channel you watch.
Yes.
Cable that you watch Disney on.
Yes.
Yeah.
24.
Yeah.
35 for Brink, right?
Yes, 35. Yeah. It's on the low. It's on the graphic. I don't even know what more you need. So we're very excited today because this is when it feels like it really gets started here.
I have been hearing for months now about the DCOM called Brink. BRINK exclamation
Months. Try years.
I feel like I've been gaslit because I was under the impression
this is what he
that
always does.
more than the two of you care about this movie at this level. But it's literally
more than
if I bring
us.
it up to anyone normal, they're like, I guess that's one of them. But you guys,
who did you bring it up to?
I don't know, just people. I brought it in my class. They're 16, so they wouldn't get it. I don't know. I've never heard of anyone else talk about Brink but you two and Ryan Popola. That's it.
But that's like a really great group.
It's a great group.
It's
a great
think
group.
about how great that group is.
It's a great group.
Yeah, I mean, your students, sorry, their opinion on a DCOM doesn't matter to me. They're too young for that.
They're too young for that.
And then some of the double deckers that you get your opinions from were too old for this. So,
wow, calling double deckers old. Yeah. Calling the youth inconsequential.
Well, because I'm old, and then if they're any older than me, that's also old.
100%.
That's also old, 100%. Of course.
Because I'm over 30 now, and
I'm excited to
when
talk
you guys
about
were
it.
kids, how old was old? Like when
40.
40?
Yeah.
Someone was over 40?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when my dad turned 40. I remember us being like, man,
he's
that's
so
it.
close to death.
because wasn't it like
he's gonna die.
Wasn't
any
all
day.
of the party supplies for 40 over the hill?
Yeah. For sure.
I literally thought 40 was the midway point of your life, and it was just a slow descent to death.
And it is that as well. But I turned 45 months ago, and my dad was so much more responsible than I am at 40. He had to be.
Yeah.
But also, when you look at famous sitcom dads, the dad from Boy Meets World, how old's that guy supposed to be?
Yeah, 50s.
40, yeah.
I don't know. I think he's only in his 30s.
Well, then it's also,
and it's just what?
Well, growing up watching Friends, they all seemed like adultier adults than I am right now.
Adults.
And they're mid-20s when that show starts.
There's just no way.
They all turn 30 over the course of that show. And I sometimes watch reruns and I'm like,
That apartment in New York? You kidding me right now?
I'm clearly
Those
doing life
apartments
wrong.
in New York?
Well,
yeah.
here is the good news, everybody, is if you're feeling old, you're thinking, what can I possibly do? Well, we got Brink for you, but of course, we're going to kick things off with Delicious.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's the first segment of the show.
Yeah, it is. It's
And
the
if
first
you're
segment of the
feeling
show.
old, this segment will make you feel better.
It has the potential because you
Okay.
can at least like eat or drink something. Aaron, what did you put together for us today to enjoy while talking about Brink?
Yeah, so this week I am bringing some recipes to both eat and drink.
Oh,
Um,
that's exciting.
Both
so
hands.
if you've seen this movie, it should surprise no one that the drink I'm bringing is a chocolate milkshake.
Yeah.
Duh. Not vanilla.
Vanilla?
So much.
Definitely, yeah, Dan, not vanilla.
Chocolate.
Yeah, so that recipe will be up on our socials.
I love that. It's
Check
just
that
it's
out.
just a standard chocolate milkshake.
Just a standard
Love that.
chocolate shake.
Do we
if
get
you-
one here in the studio?
No,
Oh, okay. Cool.
I made you a drink one time and you hated it, and
That
I will
is
never
true.
do it again.
That is not entirely. You made me a drink at the Deckies and I liked it. And you made me
Go
a
back
drink
to listen to episode
Yeah,
one.
if
the
you listen under
eggnog
wraps.
Listen
and
to
the
episode
other one.
one.
You made 2 bad drinks.
See, 2 out of 3.
It's tough.
So just
I'm tough. I'm a tough judge.
yeah,
don't know what to
I
tell
will
you.
be hanging out with Bran later, and we will have milkshakes. You're
right.
not invited.
Cool. Cool.
Love
Cool.
that
Cool.
idea.
Yeah.
Love that idea. Tell me
Yeah.
about food.
So for the food, I am bringing a.
Should you take a picture of your computer screen?
Yeah, she did.
I didn't want to write down all these words.
She is old. Huh.
Yeah, but you could have like
Get
sent
out of
yourself
town.
the
She
link
is
or
old.
something.
No, I just needed to read
Okay,
this
sorry.
one sentence.
Just go
and
ahead.
that's all I needed. I hate it here. So this is a take on a like worms and dirt pudding.
Worms and dirt pudding.
Like pudding cup.
Yeah, the gummy worms and the Oreo
Yeah.
crumbles.
Okay, yeah.
So this is an Oreo
Dirt
dirt
sundae.
cake.
Ooh.
It has a chocolate pudding, a chocolate Oreo topping, a layer of cookie crumbs, and gummy worms on top.
Definitely have that here because that sounds great, right?
Yes, it's in the fridge. It just needs to chill
Okay.
for like 45 minutes.
45 more minutes-ish.
That sounds like how long this
This
episode's
episode,
going to be.
roughly
so
exactly
weird that it's
how
probably
long.
not going to be on air that we eat that, but
You want to
yeah,
just wait? You want to hit
it's-
pause and then wait till it's
But-
done chilling?
No.
You got places to be?
So the tie-in there is the worms in the
Yeah, of
show,
course.
the worm
Yeah.
sandwich. I
Yeah,
like
right.
that.
Worm
Those
sandwich.
are 2 really good.
Good ones.
So
Good
those
answers.
recipes will both be on our socials.
Yes, of course.
You can make those and then watch Brink and listen to
And
us
you can
talk
make
about
you
it.
can make the milkshake boozy if you want
You
to.
can,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
How would you do that if you wanted to? Just kind
Add booze.
of play around.
I would probably throw in some Baileys.
Okay.
Personally.
Ooh, that's good. Yeah,
That's my go-to.
for sure.
There you go. Thank you. That was
Bailey's has a new mint chocolate flavor for St. Patrick's Day.
Bailey's is here to talk about it. Bailey's?
I wish.
George
Bailey's, if you would like to sponsor us.
Just add a splash. Oh, this
It's
or
not
that.
even. It's not even booze if it's just a splash, Mary.
It's true.
Man, chocolate.
And Bailey's is practically just milk, so it's
Yeah, anything.
Zuzu's milkshakes.
To the moon.
This is
George
killing.
Bailey talking about Doge.
Yeah. Well,
Hold,
it starts at 15
hold.
cents a share, but it could get to $1.
To
Mary.
the moon. To the moon, Mary. That's good, right? Someone write
Yeah,
that
somebody
down.
write that down.
That's good. Let's talk about Brink.
Yeah,
in
Will,
our-
Will Friedel's not doing that anytime soon.
That's
I can tell you
exactly
that
right.
now. This movie over a quarter century years old. Do you guys feel old?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Making sure. Okay.
Did
Well,
we
I'm
not
aboard.
cover in the opening that I am old?
Yeah,
feel like I said that.
Took a
I'm old.
picture of her computer screen, guys.
Yeah.
I don't know what else you want.
And, like,
33 going on 100.
And seems surprised we brought it up. They like caught her by surprise.
You guys don't do that with your fancy phones?
I can't believe you guys brought it up.
I have so much storage on my new phone, so just
So much.
pictures for
Yeah.
days.
Just all the pictures. Let's talk about Brink
Yeah.
in the ComChat part of the show.
ComChat.
Brink originally aired on the Disney Channel as a part of the Disney Channel original movie franchise on August 29th, 1998. I had seen this movie. Aaron, you had seen this movie. Dan, you had.
I had not seen the movie, but you know what? I'm glad I've seen it. Because
What are you doing right now?
I'm eating.
What's in your hands?
Some Wiley Wallaby licorice.
But I don't know why that had to be.
The lack of respect.
For what? This movie?
Yes.
You're dang right.
Well, I just don't understand why that had to be a secret, like under the table snack.
I'm trying not to make sounds in the microphone.
It made sounds.
I was trying to make them less.
It's ridiculous.
Better than holding them up here for all our YouTube viewers.
You did it though.
I'm glad I've seen this movie, so now you guys can stop talking about it.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. That's good. Speaking of talk about it, let's talk about it. Movie kicks off Brink in a bit of a friend. Brink is the main character.
Yeah.
Andy.
Name's actually
Brinker.
Yeah.
Brinker.
Brinker.
And he's Russian. He's like in a little bit of a frenzy.
He is from America.
He's not Russian.
He is in a rush.
He is in a rush.
He's late.
Not Russian. There are no Russian people that we know of in this movie.
No, not at all. Someone from Peruvian, but not.
Sure.
Who was from Peru?
Oh gosh.
Okay, you get to it. You get to the concept.
Here's BJ.
Beach. And so he's throwing some like Hershey chocolate syrup in his mouth. Like that's breakfast, I guess. And he's rushing to get to his, he's in a rush to get to his friends because it's the last day of summer vacation. We all remember it.
That feeling.
That feeling of we got one last day of
Get
freedom.
your blades on.
Yeah. Dan, I don't believe you ever felt this feeling. You have always been a meanie jerky face that probably like loves business and doing hard work. But for the rest of us, we love fun. We love doing good things and hanging out with our friends.
Business and doing hard work.
Yeah, that's you, man.
Okay.
You don't like fun stuff is what I'm getting at. We like fun stuff, just like our boy Brink. That's what I'm trying to say.
I love fun stuff. I want to be very clear.
No.
Super big fan of fun stuff.
He gets to the, I guess, bus stop, and his friends are like, "We're late."
The bus already left.
Because they're trying to
get to the pit in time.
They're trying to get to the pit. They're trying to get to the pit, which we all knew immediately what they were talking about when they say the pit. Yeah. But the pit is, it's like a little skate park.
Yeah, right by the beach.
The thing about the pit is that it is a max of 4 people allowed in the pit, and if you're there, no one else can claim it until you finish your time in the pit.
That's exactly right. So when Brink when Brink is late to getting to the bus stop, they're all mad, but he comes up with a crazy idea, which I will be honest, not sure why it wasn't the plan from the get-go. Like why as skaters would you not want to skate to the skate park, but nevertheless Brink says, "Let's do this. Let's skate the miles and get to
so many miles.
So many miles. Could be 5, could be 10, could be anything like that." And so they all go. They're doing some tricks, also grinding and whatnot on their way there.
Any spin moves?
Some spin moves. The occasional spin move, and. They finally get to the pit and they're having a good time and they get pumped because they see someone from Inline Skating Magazine. And
the Inline Skating Magazine?
That's a big deal. So they're like, let's show off. Let's do some tricks. Soul skating style, which we all know. Soul skating, Dan, explain.
Yeah, what is soul skating?
For what's in here.
And
you're not worried about the ads. You're not worried about the money. You're not worried about the sponsorships. Yeah. You're skating for the sake of skating. For your ride or dies, for yourself at the end of the day, for you and your soul. That's what you're skating for if you're a soul skater.
Dan wouldn't really know. He doesn't have a soul, but
Dan would never soul skate.
He is about the money.
He only does business and hard work.
That's right.
And so
Brand keeps wanting sponsors on this show and on Deck the Hallmark. And I'm like, no. We do this because we're soul podcasters.
Soul podcasters. That's exactly right. So they are.
Should that be the name of our podcast?
Soul podcasters.
And we don't need any money. None of us do. We just do this for the love of the game.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, you guys are just paying me too much as is. If you could just.
We're paying you? Oh no! How? We're only doing this for the love of it. How are we paying you?
See, this is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about.
Maybe if we had some ads like the X-Blads, we'd be in better shape.
Speaking of the X-Blads, the rival group, the X-Blades.
Blades without an E.
And with a Z at the end. Do show up.
It's a silent E.
They tell Brinks.
It's an E that's not there.
Yeah, silent E.
No. Silent means it's there. We don't use it.
Not always. Not always. Not always.
X-Blads, go for it.
I would say, oh boy, I wish my ex-wife was like that, E.
You mean your ex-whiff?
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. So the X-Blades show up, and they tell Brink's soul skating crew to get lost because the only reason why Inline Skating Magazine is here is to take pictures of us skating in the pits. And so the Brink's crew is like, well, there's nothing we can do. They've claimed the pit fair and square. So what can we do? Cut to the first day of school, and the ex-Blads are at it again. They are at it again.
The ex-Blads just stirring S up.
They show up and they take not Brink, not Pete, not Gabriella, but Jordy's shoes.
No, they take Pete's shoes.
They take Pete's shoes and they throw them up onto the telephone wire.
They killed him?
Yeah, they killed a man. They killed a man, and that's how you know it. And so the Soul Skaters decide to get them back at lunch with, and this was the inspiration behind today's delicious recipe.
Classic worm sandwich. Their science classroom has a whole terrarium full of worms and dirt, and they're like, I know what we're doing.
Which is not a bad prank, I will say. I do feel bad, obviously, for the worms, but
I also feel bad. Yeah, the worms, of course, we feel terrible, but the sandwich itself is so jammed with worms.
Yeah.
You would have to be just really locked in on eating a sandwich to not notice it.
Well,
locked in on literally anything other than the sandwich.
Anything else.
So they do the thing. They take Val's sandwich, they put it in, they put the sandwich back right in front of Val. Val is laughing with his buddies, and so he takes the bite. Worms all over himself. Clean worms.
Clean worms. They cleaned up the worms.
Only the cleanest.
You don't want to have any cross-contamination.
Skaters are really above board. But the sandwich before you added the worms looked to be bread.
And bread.
One piece of lettuce and bread.
Right. Lettuce same.
And so
that's Val. I mean, that's Val.
If I Von Detten for you.
Yeah. If you were heading into lunch thinking, I'm so happy Mom made me my favorite lettuce sandwich, and then you picked it up and it was just lumpy.
Yeah, just jam-packed full of worms.
Jam-packed with about like 20 worms.
They went too hard with the worms.
I would maybe not bite directly into that.
But I think this shows Val is a little ahead in the clouds there for Val. Yeah. So he didn't notice. He obviously gets mad about this. And so they decide that they are going to do a good old-fashioned inline skating race behind school.
It's the only way to settle a beef.
We've all been there. We've been in high school. We get in a fight at lunchtime, and we're like, inline skating race. Everybody will set up everything.
And everyone knows what that means. As soon as you're like, you, me, outside right now.
That's right.
Everyone has, you're in charge of moving picnic tables. You need to set up the hurdles and trash cans.
This clearly isn't the first time.
This is not the first time this student body has set up an inline skating obstacle course out back.
And what I appreciate about this is the fact that inline skating clearly against the rules. They say it multiple times. But what they do, which I think is really smart of them, is they take it behind the school. And we all know
teachers aren't allowed to go there.
Teachers can't go there.
The boundary ends right at that door.
They might try. They might try, but they can't. They're not legally allowed to.
Nothing to do about it.
So the race happens, and it's all going well. They're doing a little, what's it called, where you slap hands, and relay race. It's a relay race.
That's exactly what that's called. And you gave me nothing to work with there.
You know the thing where you slap hands?
Yeah.
You guys are relay racing right now?
Did you guys ever do any rollerblading growing up?
And
you guys shred the streets?
No, I did rollerblading. I used to. My one thing that I would do occasionally is we had one elevated surface in our neighborhood.
The neighborhood was flat.
It's like flat road, whatnot, but the sidewalks were higher. And so there was like a little grassy area. And so what I would do is I would jump over the grass. And that's a couple feet.
You're getting airborne.
I was getting airborne. Serious airborne. You get run and start or skate and start, and then jump.
Did you ever get a sponsorship? Or did you just do it for the love?
I did it for the love.
The soul?
I did it for the soul.
What about you, Shay? Do you skate for the love of it or just for the money?
Yeah, for the love of it.
For the love of it.
Skate.
And I imagine Aaron, like me, had lots of options.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of people going out and being like, hey, please let me pay you to jump your grass.
Yeah, $200, 200 more if you win, of course. Classic agreement.
Yes. So
I've never put on a pair of rollerblades in my life.
My friends and I would be at the Skate Palace skating around.
Skate Palace, yeah.
And all the time, sponsors were just running up to us being like, can we please pay you $200? And I was like, get away from me.
Just accosting children on
the amount of,
I love this
grown men with backwards hats that approached me as a child.
Yeah.
I can't even
too many.
Begin to count.
Yeah. That counts higher than the kid count from the last movie.
Yes.
Now,
and I would say most of the time it was because of my skating.
Yeah. Brandon, what was the roller skating rink called in your neck of the woods?
Burned down. I know that. I know it burned. I don't remember the name of it.
Called the Skate Palace?
Yeah. See, Brian gets it. Brian's off screen. Brian, come here for the people to see. This is
what it would be like.
This is how people would approach us.
There.
Just do this. There you go.
Yeah.
Get down. There he is. Yeah. There you go.
That's exactly what it would be like.
Thanks, Brian. Honestly,
Brian walked out of the other room, and I immediately felt creeped out.
Yeah, it was uncomfortable. And he's always it's always uncomfortable with Brian, but that was especially the roller skating rink in my neck of the woods growing up was the Red Wing Rollerway.
Ooh, the Rollerway.
And it had a red wing like the Detroit Red Wings. I don't know how that. I don't know where they got away with it.
Can I ask you this? Was there like with the way, was it in any way Jesus themed or no?
No, it was not. But they did have a Christian night, as you can imagine, played all the hits.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. No,
we had a Christian night at the bowling alley, River Lanes.
Yeah.
Freaking would go nuts.
Yeah,
dude.
you would. Yeah.
Skate Palace is now a bowling alley in my hometown.
It was?
Well,
also at a bowling alley.
Skate Palace is now a bowling alley.
Oh, okay.
Well,
They have one.
That tracks. That tracks.
You can't really roller skate effectively unless you got good Christian 90s jams in the background.
I mean, Skate Palace is great. Arcade games. It did have a skate park, so you could do some tricks.
Skate Palace sounds
laser
wonderful.
Tag.
Yeah.
Did they have a Christian night?
No.
Yeah.
We didn't do that up north.
Godless New Englanders.
This is what I'm talking about.
But you could get some slushies and a pizza.
Yeah, but pizza can't save you.
It can try.
You know what can save you? Freaking bowling a turkey in the black light to jars of clay. Right. That can save you.
Well,
they're racing and they're doing the thing where you slap hands.
Bowling a turkey.
Yeah, bowling
in the black light, listening to jars of clay.
Exactly right.
Is this some weird CCM clue?
Gotta be honest.
All in on.
That's a contender for shirt of the episode.
Yeah,
I don't know for sure. It's
should we go bowling while we drink our milkshakes without Dan?
It's the word DCOM.
Brink, I don't want to be there.
It's the word DCOM, but in the clue font, and then it says bowling a turkey in the bowling alley,
listening to jars of clay
with the black light.
Dan, can I ask you a question?
I would love for you to.
When you woke up this morning, did you say to yourself, "Today I'm going to talk," or "Today I'm going to skate"?
Yeah,
I definitely said today I'm going to talk.
Well. That's the difference.
You always do. That's exactly right. They're doing the relay race, and Boomer with the hair gets I don't know, like side chopped by one of the railings, you know?
Yeah.
And he goes down, and Brink is on the move, and
Brink's gonna win.
Brink's going to win.
Yeah.
Brink doesn't. He stops. He goes to check on the injured Boomer, and
check on your local Boomer if you have a chance. You never know.
Call him.
Tell him you love him.
Call a Boomer.
Check on your injured
1-800 call a Boomer.
That's right.
And that's going to go directly to their landlines too.
It is. That's right. And they won't answer. They're busy taking a picture of their computer screen.
Okay, Boomer.
Yeah, check on your local Boomer.
You all right, Aaron?
No.
So Brink gets suspended, and which is impressive because it's the first day of school. Dad is very clearly upset about this. This is classic 90s dad who just like is just, I don't get my kid, like that type of guy. And so he's just very upset. And then that night, you know, he's talking to his wife and is like, I don't know if I'm going to have a job when I get back from my disability and all this stuff. And Brink's overhearing this, and he is beginning to feel the weight of the family's money problems. And so this is classic temptation. This is the devil tempting you to give up soul skating.
You think that getting paid to skate was the devil?
Yeah. I mean,
wow. Making a living skating to help your family pay a mortgage was the devil.
Yeah.
Okay, that's quite a hill to die on.
So he overhears the fact that there is an opening because of the boomer. There is an opening at X-Blades. And so he can't like shake this idea. Like he originally says no to Val, like Val kick rocks.
Yeah.
And Val's like, I wasn't asking you anyway. But clearly he was just like planting that seed. Val is the devil. And planting that seed in his mind, like, hey, leave your friends, leave the whole purpose of your life behind, join the X-Blades. And so he finally is like, okay. So he shows up at the X-Blades warehouse.
Yeah.
You know, the one.
Yeah.
And
where
decides,
one adult man hangs
Brian
out with
Harold's
a bunch of
creeping around in there. Yeah.
Yes. This guy apparently, the guy who runs the X-Blades, the adult with the backwards hat, apparently last year shelled out $10 million worth of merchandise. And
he sold $10 million. Didn't shell it out.
That's when you feel good about knowing that he's paying these skaters $200 a week plus $200 when they win. Mm-hmm. Because if you add all that up, that's pretty close to $10 million. And so it all
you don't know how many kids he's paying.
No, no idea.
You know how many skate rinks that guy's been in? Recruiting kids?
Yeah. You're 100% correct. So he's obviously conflicted here because family needs the money, but I'm a soul skater. So what do
Val
I do?
is the devil. So.
Val is the devil. So he is offered a spot and on Team X-Blades, and he ends up taking it.
And this is where we get the most awkward scene of the movie, where several times this creepy grown man almost shakes his hand and goes, "Your parents do know about this, right? Before I shake your hand, your parents know."
The handshake is legally binding.
That's right. I'm not going to shake your hand unless you tell me verbally that your parents know that you're going to get paid hundreds of dollars to do some rollerblading for me.
Are you a minor and maybe your legal guardian should be signing some paperwork?
Yes. Yeah, but don't worry. That handshake is going to come back. It's going to come back later. It's going to be awesome.
Is this guy with the backwards hat, is this a parable for student loans? Like, hey, your parents know about this, right? You're a minor? Yeah. You're good if I give you money every month?
He's the predatory student loan guy. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I would say that this guy is more on the up and up. No.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
This guy's more on the up and up than finding 18-year-olds that would like to go to college and giving them large sums of money to pay back at an ungodly interest.
Yes. Right. So he does get it, but he needs to lie. He needs to lie to his friends because they're soul skaters. They wouldn't understand. And I can't.
Selling out for the man.
That's exactly right. I can't possibly tell them what's going on because I made up this whole soul skater thing.
Yeah.
And so I can't tell them about this. And then I have to lie to my parents because dad told me I can't skate for money. He told me that flat out.
He's gonna get caught here.
Yeah, and dad also got him a job, a regular job at the Pup and Scrub. Suds and Scrubs.
Pup and Scrub.
Pup and Suds.
The Pup and Scrub. What's that?
The Pup and Scrub, Scrub and Suds, Pup and Suds.
Pup and Suds, Scrub and Suds.
It is the Pup and Suds.
It's the Pup and Suds. What was it?
Pup and Scrubs.
Yes. And so he is having a hard time keeping up with all this because his days are so jam-packed. Go to school, go to work, go to Team X-Blades, then meet up with the Soul Skaters, then go home and do homework.
Yeah, and he's like
it's
late to his Soul Skater sessions every day.
Every day.
And the commitment his friends have to not dare put on their inline skates and skate before
also,
Brink gets there.
Just being like classic Brink, an hour and a half late again.
Yeah, that's him.
We've got the pits, classic Brink. And I will say this, Brink is consistent about one thing in this whole movie, and it's not skating for his soul. It is being excruciatingly late to every single thing he's supposed to do in life. Yes. Everything.
Yeah. It's the day of the Invitational.
Yeah.
Which we all know.
The
Nationals.
The championship.
Aaron, explain for the people at home, namely Dan, what the Invitational,
I know what an invitational is.
And how. And
my question is when do the Soul Skaters compete? before nationals.
They don't.
Okay, they
but
just
neither
get an
do
invite.
X-Blades.
They get an invite to the non-invitational nationals.
They were supposed to be at the invitational.
The X-Blades do compete at the invitational.
What's the problem here?
I don't understand what the problem is.
Dan, what's the problem? What is your problem?
My thing is that the X-Blades do compete or perform, if you don't want to call it a sport, perform and get judged in a formal event.
An invitational.
Called the invitational. However you want to say those words, they're doing a bit, they're getting judged, highest score wins, everybody high fives. The Soul Skaters literally don't do that until nationals.
Right,
but the invitational is not a qualifier.
Yeah.
It isn't. I didn't say it was a qualifier.
Okay, so I don't see the problem with.
They're showing you that the X-Blades are in events and stuff.
But it's also clear that
the Soul Skaters were supposed to. Brink just bailed on them, and
so
you need a team of 4.
But when do they do it? Like, we never get to see them do it. Like, we never get to see their actual
They can't because their 4th
skaters.
team member bailed on them.
They should have. The movie should have established that they're good at skating competitively before the national championships.
No. You know they're good because they skate from their soul.
So.
Yeah.
With their soul.
So Pete shows up and Brink is faking sick, which we've all done it. And did you have
work with your parents?
Did you have a go? Oh yeah.
No, not mine. Dude, my parents, no way.
You would never you never put the thermometer up to the light and
my parents literally sat there while I put my thermometer under my arm and took my
my parents just trusted me a little bit more. And I broke that trust.
And that's right. And they
100%.
Yeah.
And I love you guys. You guys are amazing. I didn't do it all the time, but sometimes you get a hankering for Bob Barker. And
so when you put it on the light bulb, wouldn't that like spike it to like 108?
I mean, you'd have to do it right.
It's a science.
Yeah, you touch
you
it, you take it away, you take
No, I
it.
did not.
Okay.
Of course you didn't.
So,
But my parents also trusted me, and so if I said I'm not feeling well,
yeah.
like they
Yeah, but I was also the youngest. I could literally murder a person.
That's
and
true.
They'd be like,
youngest of 5.
Yeah.
They were just like, yeah.
I was awesome.
Whatever.
They didn't care.
Mom, I got 113 temperature. Chris, stay home, I guess.
And like by and large, I was a really great kid. But once again, when Bob Barker is a calling, like there's nothing
I faked being sick, and they called me McNasty on the playground.
100%
But I was a great
they
kid.
did. 100% they did.
No, did Bob Barker call you personally?
He would Bob bark me. He would bark me. He'd Bob bark. I don't know, man. I'm trying to do a thing. Hey, Dan, fix this while I explain what's going on.
He would bark you.
So it's the day of the international, the invitational, not the international.
I'm international.
And Pete comes over, and Brink is just like, "Oh, I'm so sick, man. Like it's just this is awful." And so he's like, "I guess we can't compete, but we'll go scout it out. We'll go scout out the invitational."
Don't you dare!
And that's exactly what Brink says. Brink says, "Don't scout
don't do it.
Don't go and watch.
Don't go.
No.
Go practice.
Trust me on this.
The invitational's behind us. Nationals are ahead of us. So you guys go practice.
Nobody competing is getting any practice in. So if we practice, we get one.
We're just going to be ahead of the game.
As Brink, give you permission to put your skates on without me there.
Wow.
Just for today.
Bold move from Brink.
Just for today. So Brink goes to the invitational, skates 4 Team X-Blades, crushes it.
Yeah.
And everyone's very excited about this. Everybody's very impressed. That is until the Soul Skaters show up. And they see him and they get mad.
Caught in a
Gabriella pushes them from behind. I'm push him. And it's just he's like, man,
X-Blade.
I have been found out.
I lied about being sick.
Yeah.
I would like to be back in the Soul Skaters.
That's right. And so he says, okay, I'm done. I'm going to go make up with my friends. His friends don't want him.
No.
His friends are like, hey, Buster, scram.
He sits down with his cola and burger, and they're like, we're out of here.
We're out of here.
Colas and burgers.
That's exactly
And
right.
they leave all of that for him to clean up.
That's right.
Which is honestly
Bold.
one of the meanest things you can do in this movie.
No, there's some pretty mean things in this movie that are worse than that.
Yeah,
No,
but
that was the meanest.
Okay.
And he's like, well, I guess
worm sandwich.
The worm sandwich is pretty close up there.
What about trying to injure someone with the rocks on the...
That hasn't happened yet. We're getting there.
in this movie. Not yet. In this movie.
We're not there yet.
All right, go ahead.
And so he decides, I guess I got to go back to the X-Blades and compete. And so he's with them one day, and they're scouting out the big hill for the downward derby. And the vertical, yes.
Yeah. And have you ever seen this movie?
Yeah, I just like to give it its own name, the downward derby. Yeah, the downward derby.
Downward derby. He Bob barked me.
He Bob barked me. And they show up and they're like, the Soul Skaters do, and they're like, oh man, what, this is yours now too? And so they decide that they're going to have a race. And Val is like, I think the only thing that's fair is
Val Donald Trump?
I think the only thing that's fair is Brink versus Gabriella.
Well, that's not, I mean, Gabriella volunteers.
Gabriella.
Yeah.
Val's like, who's
from
skating for
Peru?
your team?
Gabriella is the only skater that takes any initiative to be like, I'll do this.
The people love me in Peru.
And Val is Donald Trump now.
And I will say, now that I know it's not the vert, I think it's just the downhill.
Downhill derby.
Yeah, vert is it's like the half.
That's exactly right. Yes, yeah.
We know all about the X game rules.
We sure do. Brink v.
Bob me.
Brink v. Gabriella. And just as the race is about to start, Val says, I'm going to meet you guys at the bottom of the hill. And he goes by Brink and he says, what's he say, Dan?
You tell me the street, Bran.
Oh, gosh, I don't remember.
Kettner Street. When you go around the big turn at Kettner Street, get out on the wide side out there is what he says. Good advice. It's good skating
Good advice, especially because as they approach Kettner, Val's already up there and he scatters some gravel on the ground.
Classic gravel scatter situation.
It is a scatter. It's a gravel scatter. And so Gabriella goes straight through that gravel, getting all caught up in her blades, and she goes twisty turnsies, falls
dies
on the ground
and
to her death.
Gabby.
Yeah.
She made it. She made it out alive. Honestly, no broken bones.
No, nothing really. Just a few scrapes.
Okay, so meanest things in the movie: Gabriella gravel,
worm sandwich, leading your friends to clean up.
Yes, exactly. Right.
Yes.
We did it.
Top 3.
So Brink goes to talk to Gabriella, and they have a little moment, I guess. But Gabriella, it's not like Gabriella's like, hey, all's forgiven. Like, she's pretty PO'd.
She's definitely PO'd.
And so now the only thing that's left is for me to talk to my dad. When all else fails, I'm going to talk to my dad. And dad doesn't want to.
But he has a pretty great heart-to-heart.
Yeah. He has a great heart-to-heart with his son, and he decides, Brink decides, 1, done with Team X-Blades. 2, I am going to buy back my friends.
Yes, you are.
By getting a 4-month advance in my dog grooming salary and pay for some new blades and some 6 shirts with the logo on. And I have to be honest, I don't know how the logistics work. Like, if you are asking for an advance, like, why'd they have to put the logo on the I don't know.
Yeah, it seems like more of a sponsorship than an advance.
Yeah, is it a sponsorship? Is it an advance? I guess maybe Guy just said, hey, I will sponsor you in lieu of payment, but still, like
4 months. Come on.
Yeah. Anyway, they are now Team Pup and Suds.
Pup and Suds.
Yes.
And they are ready for the championship.
Nationals.
The Nationals. We're going to Nationals.
Pup and Suds in the ice.
1 step above regionals.
Yes. And it's close. And they're all doing the things.
Right after the invitational, separate, regionals, nationals. The weird thing is for the first hour 10 of this movie, they just say the championships.
Yeah.
They don't tell you that it's nationals. Yeah. And then he offhand just goes, only the biggest national championship race on the blah, blah, blah. And you're like, oh, it's national championships?
Well, I mean, if Glee taught me anything, it's regionals, nationals.
Yes, regional, super regional,
regionals
national.
for 6 years, nationals.
Yes, of course. Yes.
You just gotta get to regionals.
Got to. One way or the other.
So they all compete in streets. They all compete in vert. And it is close. And so it all comes down to this. A 1v1 downward derby between Brink and Val.
Loser walks.
Winner
takes all.
That's exactly right. And it's close. They're doing the things. And at one point, Val falls down.
Yeah, Val's
pushing him a lot first.
Doing a lot of pushing.
Well, there's one section of the race that has no TV coverage.
No TV.
Yeah.
So apparently Val knew this, and as soon as those cameras stop covering the race. Val's
he's
just
shoving
him into cars.
But then they go back on camera. Brink then cheats. Talk about that later, I'm sure. Goes through an alley, gets back into the race, and then Val falls.
No, it's Val.
Val falls first.
Val falls. My bad.
Because Brink stops.
That's right.
And goes to check on Val.
That's
and
right.
Val says, "I knew you would do this." Pulls him down, gets back, and the camera crew's like, "You get that?" And they're like, "I got it all." And so Brink gets back, takes a shortcut through the alley, jumps back out.
Yes.
He's
it's like a 1-to-1 cheat situation. I think
that's true. Two cheats don't make a lie, but three do.
That's right.
Val cheated, Brink cheated. It's fair game.
Since you cheated, I can cheat.
Yeah.
And so it's neck and neck down to the wire, and they take one last ramp into the finish line. Brink wins. Team Pup and Suds for the win. Freeze frame victory. And that was Brink. That's exactly right. We are going to take a quick break. We will come back with the overtime segment.
Oh my God.
Segment 2. Here on DCOM Descendants.
That's just muscle memory at that point. There's nothing I can do.
Well, hello. Welcome back, everybody. It's time for overtime. It's time for overtime, the overtime part of the show where we talk about, for us, how this movie age over time, our thoughts on it. Dan, what are you doing here?
I'm telling you if the movie holds up over time based upon a 2023 first-time viewing.
2024. Welcome to this year.
Even in 24, does it hold up over time?
That's exactly right.
In the future.
Aaron, I would love to start with you. Brink, near and dear to your heart. You had to watch it with Dan today.
It was tough.
Tell me about that and also your thoughts on this movie.
Loved watching this movie this morning. Watching it with Dan was probably my least favorite viewing of Brink. This movie for me held up over time. I still remember being so excited as a kid. When you woke up this morning, did you say, today I'm going to talk? Or today I'm going to skate?
Yeah.
It sounds like this is a Were You Ate situation. Not as a great.
I don't know. It's still great for me. It was motivational. It was funny. There's some hijinks. There's some friendship issues. There's some family issues. We kind of just hit on all of them. We resolve them. We're better people because of it. Learn some life lessons. I'm going to get a chocolate milkshake out of it. It's going to be great.
This movie freaking rules.
I'm still out on the chocolate milkshake.
Yes, you're still out.
100%.
This movie rules.
No wiggle room there. Got it.
I love this movie. It is not just because I'm 8.
It is.
It is because it is great.
Yes.
This movie rules. And there's nostalgia to it. But also there is an element in it where I get so overwhelmed with yes, I buy in 100% to soul skating. I love it.
Are you guys doing a bit?
No, I'm not doing a bit. I love soul skating.
I mean, I do think
I've known you for over a decade.
Skating,
you've never once said you love soul skating. Not once.
I love the general principle of soul skating.
I mean, I will say, rewatching this now at 33 years old, the idea that these 16-year-olds, 15-year-olds are so into soul skating, it would have hit a bit different if they were older.
Yeah, thank you.
At 15, you are just doing it for the love of skating. There isn't, it was weird that almost like that their entire high school did inline skating, and it seemed like half of them were getting paid and half of them weren't. I didn't grow up in California, so I don't know if that was the norm. It was not the norm in my high school. You maybe had one kid who was sponsored for a sport, and I don't know. I just feel like everyone was doing their sports for the love of it.
A little bit of perspective there.
But other than that, if you just buy into the fact that they love skating, then this movie is still great.
This movie is anti the man. This movie is a revolution. This movie is punk rock. This movie is everything that, Lord, I pray at night that I'm all about. And so for that reason, it's the number one movie so far. And
we're not there yet. We're not making the list.
I know. I'm sorry. I jumped.
But in the first episode, you did say it's your favorite.
I love
DCOM.
it. I love this movie.
It is not my favorite.
I love the
DCOM,
movie,
but it is a classic.
Dan, this is the moment that, honestly, since we talked about doing this podcast, that I was most fearful of. So I'm just going to let you do it. I'm going to take my headphones off. I know I'm still going to be able to hear you because we're in the same room, but it's going to penetrate differently. So
I wish you wouldn't have said that.
No,
Dan?
Brian back in here.
Not a good excuse for that word.
Here's the thing: is the whole time we were talking about doing this podcast, all Bran, and to a lesser extent Aaron, but mainly Bran was talking about was Brink, and he kept saying like, if you don't like Brink, I'm gonna just blah blah blah. And I, for the life of me, Bran's never said that to me. He's never been like, if you don't like this movie, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And so I thought in my head, I was going to get a movie that jumped up in quality from the first two, that really sticks with you for a number of scenes. And then even though it's made for kids, qualitatively, I understand that there are some pieces that hold up. Instead, what we got was trash. It is terrible. This movie about rollerblading appeals literally only to people in the 1990s who were on or about the age of 8 to 12.
I had turned 8 9 days before this movie came out.
That is the limit of this movie's reach. I can't believe I was watching this movie thinking I'm about to see the best that the DCOM has to offer. And I haven't seen it. Not for this podcast yet, because all three High School Musicals run circles around this movie.
Yeah,
circles around this movie. It is so dumb, and just like all of these formulas from these movies that came out before it, they just use very lazily. You've got a central khaki pants performance from Eric Von Detten. It is a mess. The X-Blades are right for most of this movie.
Oh, come on.
I don't know, and here's the thing is, Ryan Popola, also a huge Brink fan, said there's at least one moment in this movie that I know Dan's going to love. And I wish he was here so I could figure out what moment he's talking about. I will say,
when he said that, I also questioned. I was like, I could not think of a single scene that he was talking about.
What scene sticks out is just way better than the rest of this rollerblading movie. Look, the best scene in this movie is the dad talking to the kid in the garage. That's the best scene in this movie. And guys, if this is the best, I don't know if DCOM Descendants is going to last. If this is the best according to Bran,
it's not the best according to Aaron.
Okay. Is it top 5?
No.
Okay.
Sorry, Bran.
I feel a little bit better about moving forward.
I love Brink so much because it is, in my mind, the first one.
You were 8. That's the issue, is you love it because of nostalgia, and there's nothing wrong with that.
I still loved it in high school.
Yeah,
high school me loved this movie.
But you love it because of when you originally saw it, and your subsequent viewings are because
I just want on the record I was 6.
Here's my thing, is that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I love Rookie of the Year. That movie doesn't hold up by any stretch. It doesn't. I love that movie, but Brian's in the other room. I think he said faults. Guys, it doesn't hold up, but it's a great movie. But I would never say it's not great, because when I saw it in the theater, I was like, this is the best thing ever. My tendons could heal tight and I could throw a fastball. Turns out the tendons in my right arm, because of a disability at birth, did heal tight. I can throw no such fastball. It's neither here nor there. This movie is not a movie that you would show now and be like, this is a good kids movie. It just isn't. And I'm sorry, Bran.
I don't know. I've seen some questionable
No,
kids
there are worse kids movie. We saw Kirk Cameron and a dog last week, but that doesn't make it.
No, I meant current day children's programming.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much out there.
If it's not Bluey,
Bran, I know you don't believe me, but I wanted it. I heard the ska to start. I heard the fastball. I wanted to like this movie for you. I did want it. You didn't want it. It just wasn't there. It wasn't there because this movie sucks.
Well, Dan, just maybe go into it thinking this isn't going to be Oppenheimer. I know it's not Oppenheimer, Dan. I know someone's not trying to bomb somebody. But you know what? This movie is still a bomb. This movie still slaps. Yeah, I know it's not Oppenheimer. You have to go into it different, man. You have to go into it for the love of the game. This movie is all about being a soul skater, and you're going into this movie as an X-Blade. That's the problem.
Every movie does not have to be Oppenheimer. My second favorite movie is a Christmas comedy of the year. So... Yeah. Apparently, we've heard that the limit to use the word bomb has been reached. So no. All
right, I won't say it.
We'll get a different label on this, and that label will come directly from the government. Also, I like all kinds of movies. Any movie that's made well, I enjoy it. Rom-com, horror, doesn't matter. Action,
Night at the Museum,
drama, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if it's well made, good performances. I'm here for it. Greatest movie of all time. This movie does not check literally any of those boxes. The best thing, and I should have said this in my original overtime.
Well, you didn't, so.
The best thing I will say about this movie is that the skating scenes are really well filmed because a lot of times you can't tell if they are using a double. I would not be surprised if Eric Von Detten did much of his own skating.
They do have doubles listed in the credits.
Okay. So there is but it's a lot of those tricks look
like they could have been done by them.
That part of this movie is edited like by someone who is like ready to film an action movie. Those scenes, I was never taken out of it because I knew it wasn't those actors. Really well done there. The rest of this movie,
Disney will go downhill in that. There will be some movies coming where it's very obvious.
You just emphatically, you guys were 8 or the whatever 8 is. Like you were 6, you were 8, you were 10. Like you were that age where this is memorable, and that's fine. And I'm happy for you. And I would never yuck your yum. But acting like this movie holds up is absurd. It's absurd.
I still enjoyed it.
It's time for making the list. That's where we talk about where this lands. 1 to 3. We have 3.
I do know that
Lucky Dog.
Dan is no longer on my list.
Fair. Yeah. The fact that I made it this long is really on either of your lists. I mean,
you were never on my list. You were never on my list. Never.
I mean, I didn't expect you to like Brink. I just didn't expect you to be so mean about it.
You're just the meanest. Aaron, what's your list right now? Where's this landing?
Number 1.
Yeah.
So far, it is Brink, Under Wraps, You Lucky Dog. I would like to forget that I've seen You Lucky Dog.
Yeah, I think we all would. I think we were all there.
I liked it more than Under Wraps.
I did like it more than Under Wraps.
No, he said he liked You Lucky Dog.
You Lucky Dog is my current number 1.
Yeah.
You're wrong.
Dan, where's Brink?
Number 3 is You Lucky Dog. Number 2 is Brink.
What?
Number 1 is Under Wraps. Listen, Under Wraps has the kids on an adventure with some mummy hijinks. It's silly. It's stupid. It knows it's stupid. It is not a good movie. I liked it better than Brink.
This movie's number 1. And anybody.
I mean, it is number 1 this week. I don't think it stays there.
I'm not saying this. I might learn something about myself.
Spoiler
but
alert,
to say that Under Wraps, to say that Under Wraps is better than this movie, it is more clear than ever before that you never once bowled in blacklight to jars of clay.
I didn't. That's
you
true.
are heading straight to HELL hockey sticks.
HELL hockey sticks. I'm headed straight to hell hockey sticks. Interesting. A wonderful talent from what I understand. Here's what I'll say about
Did
Under
you ever
Wraps.
see HE hockey sticks?
No, I don't think so.
Here's what I'll say.
Is that
about
with
Under
Wilfred
Wraps.
House?
I think so.
Yeah, I think you're right.
That a movie?
And by that I mean I think
movie.
I'm right. I think we're both right.
Cool.
But I don't know what it is.
Hockey?
Yeah, but is it a Wonderful
World
of
Disney?
Disney?
Skater becomes a hockey player?
I think so.
Like she dies and she becomes a hockey player.
Is it a Wonderful World of Disney movie?
It's not DCOM.
Yeah. Sorry, Dan. Go ahead. What were you saying?
Here's what I'll say about Under Wraps. The opening scene of Under Wraps where it's a horror movie and that knife goes into the blender or into the garbage disposal, and then we pan out and they're watching that movie. There is more ingenuity in that scene than in anything I saw in Brink, aside from the actual skating stunts. Like just that one scene. Under Wraps, not a good movie. Would not recommend it. But I don't know. It just has more of what the vibe of what I thought this was going to be than Brink. Brink thinks that it's passing as serious entertainment, and it is not anywhere close to that.
Oh, HE double hockey sticks is not the ice skater into the hockey player body. It's a different one.
And the way they have the hockey sticks, it's spelled hex.
Wait, so what movie is this?
Grifflekin is an apprentice devil.
Grifflekin?
Who has studied for an eternity at the Beelzebub Vocational Institute. Beelzebub wants to get rid of her idol student, so she sets him...
You mean Beelzebub?
Yes, that one.
You say Beelzebub?
I am reading it how it looks.
He Bob barked me.
Yes. So she sets him a task. If he can obtain the soul of hotshot hockey player Dave Heinrich, he can graduate.
Hey, everybody.
Wow. This sounds interesting. But what is it? Is it a Wonderful World of Disney? Is Will Friedle in this?
I'm trying to find out.
Anyway, next week.
Yeah, Wonderful World of Disney.
Yeah. Next week, Halloween Town.
Oh,
this is a fave.
Will and Matthew Lawrence.
Wow.
Oh.
That's right.
Man, a couple
Matthew's the Dave Heinrich.
Yeah, classic.
And Will is the devil.
Classic.
Beelzebub, as we say down here.
If you will. Next week, Halloween Town, everybody. Halloween Town.
That's an Aaron Shea
is where we're going. That's exactly right. It's a pretty big movie.
Brink is number one for now, but I mean, I'm right there.
You never know what's going to happen. We are going to be back next week.
Yeah,
Until then,
DCOM
it up.
DCOM out. DCOM Descendants is a Bramble Jam podcast. It's produced by Brandon Gray and recorded live in, that Greenville, South Carolina. For more information on DCOM Descendants, you can go to DCOMDescendants.com. For more information on watching the show live, you can go to BrambleJamPlus.com.